Welcome back to the Empowered Woman, Badass, and Unfiltered podcast. Your host, Olivia, here. And listen, this is season 11, and this is the first guest for season 11. And we're doing the most here. I have the Sandy Grigsby, and she is currently in Lebanon as we're speaking. And it's just so cool to actually get like on the ground experience from somebody there. She is a 2 times TEDx speaker, teaches individuals how to show up as the best version of themselves and be authentic with it. I mean, and she grows people's experience. You know, the Lord says this is just coming to me, but Jesus said, you're supposed to do greater things than me. And your mentors are here for you to do greater things than them. And I'm telling you, this woman is such a powerful mentor and coach. So, Sandy, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to get into your story.
Thank you for having me, Olivia.
Of course. So, guys, definitely check her links in the comments, show notes, all that below.
Okay. So what's your first question? Where would you like me to start?
I want to know your story. I want to know, who is Sandy?
Well, let's put it this way. I am one of those people that have experienced so many things that for the longest time, I didn't know who I was. And I had to take myself on a journey to really discover who I was. And through that journey, I was able to help other people find themselves. So I started out biracial family. My mom's from Switzerland. My dad is American. He's Black. She's white. We grew up in California. I was born in Switzerland, grew up in California. And throughout my life, I always felt like I was that girl that didn't fit in, because the community that I was raised in was very multicultural, but not Black and white. They were everything else. And so I just felt like I didn't fit in. I didn't fit in growing up, didn't fit in at school, didn't even fit in with parts of my family. We would go visit my dad's side of the family. It didn't fit in there. It didn't fit in with my mom's. I just felt like I never belonged. So in order to make myself fit in, I would bend to what other people wanted me to be. So I would be the friendly girl, the cute girl, the helpful girl, the ever giving girl, because I wanted people to like me. And that pretty much put me in a position of constantly learning new things. I learned how to cook. I learned how to design, how to play music, how to dance, how to sing, how to do whatever I could so that more people would like me. And in the end, my career path, which I ended up doing personal branding photography, helping people really understand who they are, came because I had to understand who I was.
Absolutely. And you can see it so clearly in the work that you do. I saw a reel that you did about being a people pleaser, and then how you learned so many things from being a people pleaser, because you just become, a jack of all trades almost. And then you tend to find your own path. You're definitely, I love how you're sharing that you went through a journey.
Absolutely. Yes. That's one of the biggest things. I actually help my clients, because a lot of people come to me and say, Sandy, I know something's greater for me. I want to speak on stage. I want to do a TED or a TEDx. I want to promote a product or help more people or do a cause or start a foundation. They have all of these desires, but they don't really know how to start it or how to articulate what they're great at, because they're like, I've done so many things. I've done this and that. How do I transition from working in corporate America to now this other thing, which is coaching or starting an organization? And so I have to walk them through that process, because I was there. And a lot of times it's difficult to figure out what's going to make you stand out and to give yourself that credibility, because especially if you do many things, then you're like, how they say, master of none, right? You do so much, jack of all trades, master of none, right? And it's true, that can happen. But at the same time, I flipped the perspective. Instead of being a master of none, you are the type of person who's so experienced, you can connect on a deeper level with people because you've been there. So a lot of my clients walk away going, oh my gosh, I found my superpower. And they might find that from doing so much, their superpower could be communication. It could be strategy. It could be the way that they can problem solve. It could be just making people feel comfortable. Great coaches have done a lot. And that's why they can connect with their clients so well, because they make them feel so comfortable because they understand them.
I want you to tell me a little bit about your program.
Well, I have a few programs, kind of spin-offs of each other, but ultimately my core program is called Confidence Jam. And I started it because I was actually working with Brendan Bouchard and I was training to be a high performance coach, not because I wanted to be a high performance coach, but I wanted his strategy because I loved the way that he was coaching people and guiding people on a journey. And I was doing full-time photography at that time in personal branding. And I wanted to be able to take my personal branding clients on a deeper journey of understanding their brands. And I needed a strategy and a platform for that. And once I had gone through his program, I realized he actually says to me on stage, he goes, Sandy, you need to teach confidence. And I was like, what? Like, are you kidding me? He goes, yeah, it's the way that you direct people and you see things in people and you can really point it out. And it's not just posturing, because I will have someone stand and pose and they will look infinitely more confident than before. Right. So he goes, it's just the way you work with people. You need to teach them confidence. And that's when I realized I could create a program that helps you own and claim your confidence while creating your perfect personal brand. And I actually believe they go together, because if you don't have the confidence, you're not going to put yourself out there. And that's what personal branding is. It's everything available to the public about you. It's what they Google. It's what they see on your social media channels, the videos and the content and the images you post. It's what they hear from other people about you. It's what you say about yourself. It's your website. It's whatever they can discover. That is your personal brand. So I realized that a lot of people aren't putting anything out there at all because they're not confident in the way that they present themselves, show up, and what they are doing. So I created Confidence Jam to help you first gain the confidence, so you feel really good about who you are, how you define yourself, and you're easily able to describe what you do and what you're about. And then I take you on a journey of really being able to execute it. How do you look amazing in photographs every single time? How do you guarantee that when you get those pictures, they're going to look good when you publish them? Because here's one crazy thing. We get these beautiful photos from photographers and then we put horrible filters on them. Or we turn them into black and white and it doesn't look so good. Or we crop them really weird and they look bad. Or we pick the one that looks least like us. And then people go, oh, that's you? Oh, I didn't recognize you because you picked the worst picture, right? So, I mean,
That's
to you,
funny.
it might be the best picture, but to everyone else, it's the worst picture. So I help people get super clear on what images actually represent who they really are, not who you think you are, but who you are at your core. And the ultimate goal of this program is so that when people come across you and your personal brand, they see your confidence because it just shines through. They get who you really are without ever speaking to you, without ever having you say a word to them. So they can see an image, they can see a video, they can see their content, and they feel like they already know you. And once they have that feeling, then you have already created trust with them. And it has given you credibility and it gives you more authority to sell whatever it is, which could be a product, it could be a service, it could be yourself if you want to speak on stages or coach.
Thank you for sharing all of that in so much detail. Like I said, guys, check out her links in the comments below. I want to know, how long did it take you to build this where you're at now?
Oh, let's see. Should I date myself? Okay, so I will be 45 this year, and it took me 20, okay, 30. It took me a long time. Let's just say almost 35 years to figure it out. I mean, that's just the truth. And a lot of it was because I did so many things, I doubted myself. Well, I'm good at this thing, but other people are better. Or I really want to do that thing, but I don't have any experience at it. Or I've done this for people, but not for very long, so I must not be that good at it, because shouldn't you have to do it for decades to be really good at it? And so since I questioned and doubted myself, I just kept doing that over and over and over. And what really got me here was I was working with a client and actually, I was donating a session. So I was working with Dress for Success, and I donated a session to a woman who had two children, both that had cerebral palsy. And she was a stay-at-home single mother. And she felt like she couldn't compete in the workforce. Her sons had gotten older and she was able to get a job now outside of full-time care for them. And she just felt like she couldn't compete. And so when she came to me, Dress for Success had put her through their program, and she came to me for the photos and me helping her with her online resume, creating LinkedIn profiles and doing things like that for her. And she felt really uncomfortable in front of the camera. She felt uncomfortable being with me. And she kept saying, "Oh, I'm so old." And I was like, "How old are you?" She said, "I'm 47." I'm like, "What? That's so young." At this time, I was like 35 or something, 36, somewhere in that range. And I thought, "Oh my God, you're so young. That's not old at all." And it turns out she just forgot how powerful of a person she was. I mean, think about it. Olivia, do you think that you would be able to raise two babies with a physical disability? I mean, is that something that out the gate you would know how to do? I don't know if you have or not, but if you had never experienced that, would that be something like, "Oh yeah, I'm confident, I'm going to do it like this, like no big deal"? Maybe not, right?
I
So
mean,
for
by
her,
myself,
yeah, by yourself.
like I think that's the biggest part, the by yourself part, because the amount of mental stress, the fact that you don't get a break, the fact, and then you're talking to yourself so negatively too. I think that I completely understand why she's there and how she got there.
Yes. So
And
she felt,
because goodness, she's
I asked her, I said, how did you do it? And she was like, I I had to figure it out. I'm like, "Did anyone help you? Did the doctors help you? You didn't have a partner with you at the time? Did anyone help you?" She said, "No one helped me." I said, "Now how do you do it?" She said, "I figured it out." I go, "Don't you think that would be one of the hardest things in the world to figure out on your own?" And she thought about it. She goes, "It really was." And I said, "If a mom came to you in the exact same situation, she didn't have anyone to help her. She had to raise these two children, both had a physical disability on her own, knowing nothing about the disability. Do you think you could teach her everything she needs to know to be an effective, powerful parent?" And she paused and she thought about it for a while and she goes, "Yes, I absolutely could." And that was the moment that I get chills just thinking about the story, because that's the moment when the transformation actually
mm,
came about. It was so huge and so powerful. And I'm actually going to see if I can pull it up for you right here. I think I have it on my phone, her picture. But it was so powerful to see that transformation in her, because she realized that not being able to do LinkedIn or Facebook or any other social platform was just a story she was telling her, because she was capable of so much. This was her before. Okay.
mhm.
And this is her after.
Oh wow,
And you
she
can
looks so different.
see the difference, the power and the confidence she has in just the way she carries herself and the look in her eyes and the strength that
Hmm.
comes forth. And that's when she reclaimed something that she already owned. So when I was working with her, going through that, I drew that out of her, and it dawned on me, I'm I'm actually really good at this. Like, I'm good at the pictures. I'm really good at drawing it out of her. And that was kind of the beginning of the pivotal point in my career where everything started to shift for me. And I started taking my own power and being much more confident in what I was doing. And you learn from teaching, right? So as I started teaching more people this, I started learning more. And then my business just grew from there.
So it really clicked for you at the age of 36.
Yeah, I was like 36. Yeah, right around there.
And what are some of your, did you have specific lifestyle goals that you wanted to attain?
At that time, I knew I wanted to be financially free,
Mhm.
and making a certain amount of income for me was really important. And I hit those goals. What I hadn't realized was I had forgotten along the way to celebrate them. So I was hitting my financial goals, but it never was enough. So I would hit that platform. So it would be like, my first financial goal was I want to hit $10,000 a month. So I hit it, didn't celebrate it. Then I hit $12,000, didn't celebrate it. It was never enough. 15,000, never enough. 20,000, never enough. 30,000, never enough. And then I realized I'm not celebrating my wins. And from that, I'm not creating the life that I want. And when I started to celebrate that and own that I was finally hitting those numbers that I had put out, it changed everything for me. So I think when it comes to my life goals, I had a lot of life goals, but at that time I was single. I was wanting to be in the perfect relationship. I wasn't quite there yet. I had wanted to, I was living in a place that I loved. I lived in Santa Monica, California, in this beautiful little vintage bungalow that I loved. I had a garden. I had pets. I was super happy there. But I think one of the things that I really wanted was a relationship. And the way that I actually got that was I had written I went to a Tony Robbins mastermind, actually. It's like one of his big events, like 10,000 people. And I had written on a board my projected dreams of my perfect partner. And just the act of writing it down and then celebrating that I was hitting my financial goals and I was living where I wanted and I was totally happy. I was jogging every day. I was working out, I was eating healthy. Like my overall lifestyle was great. I ended up manifesting that partner years later. And it didn't come instantly. It wasn't like, oh, I got it now, but it did happen. And the funniest part was when I finally hit the realization that I had that person, I rediscovered, because I was moving in with him, and I rediscovered that board that I had written all of these concepts of my perfect partner on. And when I read it, I got so emotional because I realized I had manifested him and he was exactly the partner that I had written years prior.
I'm going to double back on so many things.
Yeah,
This is fun. This is fun. Okay. So, I love that you talk about celebrating and the importance of celebrating your goals. I think so many high achieving women just go after the next thing. I think I've been studying you guys for some time, and I'm telling you, you just that's a current theme. You know this. I want to know, what is your enough question? And I found this thing before, like a couple of years ago. My enough question, I thought, or for that season in my life, was, when is it enough work? Like, when's that enough? But it ended up being deeper as to, why is it not enough? Like, why does it have to be enough? Why is that something that I have to gauge? So it was more of a self-worth thing. But
Yeah.
I think these are indicators. So what is your enough question?
Ooh, that's a really good one. You mean for today?
Yeah, let's
Because,
do it.
you said something that I love. You said in this season.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really important. I think many people overlook that we go through seasons in a way. That's a beautiful way of putting it. Because I mean, I'm not going to say I'm 100% confident in every single thing I do in every single minute of my life and everything that happens, because we do go through seasons. There's springtime where things are great, and then there's summer where it gets really hot, and then the leaves start changing and like things fall, and then it gets cold and winter. Like you go through that in your life, and in these ups and downs and ebbs and flows constantly are creating change. So for me, like I catch myself doubting myself every now and then. Thankfully, I have a partner that reminds me of my awesomeness and helps pick me back up out of that. So, to ask what is my enough question, you know, it changes depending on the season and where I'm at. And one thing my partner says that is a reminder that he loves to say it, and he's so spot on, is that you have to live in the moment. And are you happy in that moment as it is? And I would stop and think, we are traveling all over the world. I hate packing, okay, like with a passion. He goes, oh, y'all, I could tell you were packing right now because you're grouchy. I'm like, I'm grouchy because I hate packing, right? I really hate it. But at the same time, I love the fact that I can get on a plane with him and go to a foreign country like Lebanon and visit people and experience the culture and do some business and then pack up and go to the next one. The next place we're going is Turkey, and then we're going to Georgia. Then we're going back to the UAE. And then after that, we might be going to Romania. And we have all of these beautiful places. And even if one thing's not working out in my life, I get to reflect on the fact that I have my perfect person for me that I manifested on my own, and that I get to be happy in the moment. And we do have such incredible moments. So I would guess my enough is that I have to pause and reflect on the moment.
I love that. You've invested in yourself a lot over the years.
A
A
lot.
tremendous, a
A dollar
tremendous amount.
amount,
And I
it would be
think,
over $300,000. Bum, bum, bum.
and I think it's important to state that because when you invest, I don't think that enough people understand the importance of investment,
Mm-mm. Not
especially
at
in
all.
yourself. Can you talk on that a little bit?
You know, there's so many things that we experience growing up that cause said traumas. It could be something as simple as a parent telling you no to something. It could be you witnessing someone in your life having financial difficulties. It could be a situation that happened at school or at the workplace. And if we don't deal with those or know how or have the tools to deal with those traumas, I put them in air quotes because sometimes they're extreme, like a situation such as a sexual assault, or it could be not extreme. It could be someone telling you no. Okay. But whatever that said trauma is, we allow that to build who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do the work, I love to call it the work, that is diving deeper into yourself, learning, reading books, listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks, going to live events, listening to experts speak on personal development. If you don't have that opportunity, you lack the awareness to see not only beyond yourself, but to heal yourself. Mm-hmm. So now, from all of the work, which has costed me a fortune, I have been able to work better with my clients when I'm helping them with their confidence and I'm helping them with their personal brands. I see things that they might not see. And instead of me telling them what that thing is, because they'll never have that awakening if I say, oh, your problem is X, Y, and Z. But if I can guide them to seeing it for themselves, that's where the transformation takes place. So really investing in yourself, and it doesn't have to be personal development. I recommend it highly because there might be things that you might have blocks on because you haven't gotten past the trauma that's deeply embedded and you've built a personality, you've built a pattern and a habit around that trauma. But having some opportunity to grow, whether it's personal development, whether it's business, whether it's a skill, that gives you room to grow as a person. That allows you to serve the planet better. You serve others. You're able to build deeper connections with people, create more powerful and persuasive things, businesses, programs, organizations, charities, whatever it is, you can make it more powerful and persuasive because you've done the work. So I highly recommend everyone should invest in themselves. And what I've seen is I've worked with some huge executives, CEOs, multimillionaires, even billionaires. And the ones that are the most successful, the ones that are the happiest, are all the ones who have done the work. They've either learned something new, they've done personal development, they've grown themselves. The ones that I see that might be financially great, but other areas of their lives are just disasters, are the ones that have not done the work. They're not learning anything and they're not growing. So investing in yourself it's vital.
I'm using that clip at another point in time because oh my goodness, like I love that. The happiest are the ones that do the work. And I call it talking to the dirty mirror, like looking in the dirty mirror for some of that like deep stuff, the stuff like you're really trying to avoid. Like, no, you got to handle that. Like you got to.
You have
and,
to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, my partner, I keep talking about him because he's amazing, but he always says to me, he goes, uh-oh, you look like you need to cry. And I'm like, no, I don't need. My eye starts like watering. I don't need to cry. He goes, yep, I see it. I can tell. What is it? Tell me. I'm like, nothing. I'm fine. He goes, nope, I can see it. Let it out. Just tell me, what is it? And I'm like, and out of nowhere, I'll just start crying. It's just so funny because he knows me so well, but he's also done the work so he can see it. because sometimes we just need a release. You might need to cry for no reason. I have clients, I can't even say it, clients. I have clients that cry with me all the time because they have this aha moment and they realize that they were never able to say it or release it. They didn't know how. They didn't feel free or comfortable enough to do it. They didn't have someone that they felt safe enough to do it with. So just crying, sometimes it's a necessary thing. Guys do it all the time, believe it or not.
Oh man. Um, I feel the urge to dance some, like really releasing that. So it's like, I'm like, I'll tell you later.
Yes. Oh, have you ever done S Factor? Sheila Kelly's S Factor?
No.
Oh, it's amazing. That's some of the personal development work that I did. I actually photographed Sheila and she's lovely. She's a Netflix show. You can look it up. I think it's called like the S Factor or something. Sheila
Okay.
Kelly's S Factor. I'm not sure. Anyway, she teaches feminine movement and release. So you can release all that pent up trauma and stuff that's just breaking your soul through body movement. And just the simple act of moving your body, and this is crazy, just touching yourself, not in an inappropriate way, but like just sliding your hand down your waist onto your thigh. It releases things because some people have trauma in certain parts of their body. You know, maybe you were spanked as a child, so you don't like your glutes being touched. Maybe you were pinched somewhere and you don't like your arm being touched. Maybe you don't like to be hugged. So, what she does is she has you do it to yourself, hugging yourself, touching your arm, sliding your hand down your thigh, your leg, your calf. You'd be surprised of the emotional release that comes from this. And then she teaches you to move your body in a feminine way that is true to you. So you're not copying anyone's dance style, you're just
Mhm.
moving in your own style. It's so
Oh, that's
freeing
so
and
cool.
empowering. It's amazing. And she also will take it to the next level. She'll have you do it on a stripper pole. And you're doing it in workout clothes, not like you're naked or anything, but you're doing it on a stripper pole. But the freedom of spinning around the pole, because she shows you how to do it and moving to your own like rhythm and your own song, it just releases so much tension and brings back so much femininity and lets you own yourself. And it's so empowering. It's really cool. You should check it out.
I will. I will. That is cool. I often say I manifested my husband too.
I
Um,
love that.
but no, I have a podcast out about it because I'm telling you, and when I was in high school, I had like I created this double MVC with a sprinkle of D. It was the different guys and like what I wanted from each of them because I was like, okay, his part, he's got, he's really funny. I need somebody that can make me laugh. I was a teenager when when I created this. I got married at 23 and we've
Oh
been
my
married. It'll
gosh.
be 8 years in October.
I was gonna say, I'm like, that was what, like 6 weeks ago? You look so young.
No, I just had a baby on
Oh,
Christmas Day. It's our first child. And
congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, I'm a crazy person and he keeps me so grounded. Like he's like the don't talk to. So I needed that balance for sure. So I think it's so funny and I'm so happy that you can experience that and you can appreciate that. I to me I believe that you get 80/20. Like um and you got to really appreciate that 80,
Oh, yes.
and you know.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
do you know your human design?
You know, someone did human design on me a while ago and I forgot the number. Mm. They gave me the
Like
whole breakdown and I actually forgot it. It was a long time ago.
the type of person, like if you're like a projector, a generator, do you know any
I
of,
can't remember.
don't worry about
Like
it.
I had the whole workup done and I just can't remember what it is. Sorry.
It's okay. I feel like, and I don't even use like go into that type of stuff, but I feel like you're a projector, but
Probably.
I could be wrong. You come off like the hype man. Like you work with super high level individuals and you get them to their next level by showing them who they really are. And yeah.
I'm definitely a Leo.
When's your birthday?
So in August 16, I am a full-blooded Leo. And you know what's funny? My name Sandy actually means the keeper of mankind. Interesting, right? So I guess I'm supposed to help people.
And I wrote that down too. I love that you're a for service person. That really adds so much value. I'm also a Leo. My birthday's August 3rd. So
See?
that's just so.
There you go. Woo! Birthday party for us.
That's so funny. But Sandy, is there anything else you would like to share?
Ooh, gosh, there's so much. I could share so much. I think when it comes to confidence and understanding where you're at in your life, I had mentioned in the beginning awareness. First, you have to have awareness, because if you're not even aware, well, you can't create the change that you need. Then it's taking action. You have to be proactive and do something about it. And a lot of people wallow in misery or sit in the state that they're in and never create change. And until you actively change your state, get up, move your body, pick up that phone and do something, nothing's going to happen. So I just believe that if you want to build your confidence, you want to improve who you are as a person, create a stronger personal brand, be aware, pay attention to what's going on, and take action. Learn something new, change your habits, change your patterns, and create the life that you want. Because I'm traveling to a new country every few weeks. That's the life my partner and I created. We chose to put our stuff in storage, pack up, and move. I don't have any kids, and he's got children from another marriage. They're in college. One of them's about to be in college, but they're grown. So we have the option to do that. But you can do whatever you want with your life. You and your husband could easily pack up, change direction, and move somewhere else with your new baby. But it's up to you to have the awareness, learn what you need to learn, and take the action.
Thank you so much, Sandy. I have a picture on my vision board, and it's me holding lemons. And it's like it's this whole lemon setup. And what it means is when life gives you lemons, eat the lobster tail. Go out, live the best life.
Ooh.
And yes, no, you ain't making lemonade. No, we having the whole thing. We are having what the world has to offer us. And I love that.
Instead of lemonade, can you make like a lemon meringue pie? Because we have a traditional family recipe for that, and that is so good. I'll take that over lobster anyway. I'm not. I'm gonna be real here.
But yeah,
But yes, I love it.
Exactly what it means. Thank you so much, Sandy, for joining me today.
Thank you. And if for anyone who'd like to follow me, I'm at Sandy in Focus on most social platforms. On TikTok, I'm at sandyinfocus.com because I got locked out of my handle. And my website is sandyinfocus.com.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Empowered Woman, Badass and Unfiltered podcast. If you found any value in this, please consider sharing and subscribing. Now go out and be a badass.